Welcome back to GS with Harvey. In this video, we will discuss the important news of the Hindu and the PIB. Let's start. The very first news is related to Supreme Court. Supreme Court has called for the regulating the fees, heavy fees charges by the lawyers. What happens actually that the law procedure is very costly in our country, and a common man has to spend a lot of money for getting the right justice. That's why Supreme Court has asked lawyers to stop the commercialization of the legal profession. And Supreme Court also mentioned that it is a violation of the fundamental rights of the poor, because by this the poor do not get the equal justice. And this is actually for the very first time in the 1988 there was a report by the law commission in which there was a discussion about regularizing the fees of the lawyers, and from that time no progress made, no such progress made in this regard, and it was in like a cold storage. The essence of the legal profession is to provide expensive access to justice, the court has declared. But in our country the situation is almost reverse. The justice and the justice system is very expensive, and lawyers charge a very heavy fees, and this is a very difficult for the common people to get the justice. So Supreme Court has also urged for a law to check the violation of professional ethics by the lawyers. So Supreme Court is also seeking for a law so that professional ethics can be checked for the lawyers. Now let's move to next news, which is related to dispose pleas to debar MPs in 3 months. The news context here is that our Vice President and Chairman of Rajya Sabha M. Venkaiah Naidu has ordered disqualifying of senior Janata Dal MPs Sarad Yadav and Ali Anwar from the Rajya Sabha, because the issue of disqualification of MP should be decided by the presiding officers, and that too within the period of 3 months. And Mr. Yadav and Mr. Anwar were disqualified on a specific petition moved by the senior JDU MP RCP Singh on September 2. So this is a mandatory for chairman of the Rajya Sabha to take the decision within 3 months, and Venkaiah Naidu has taken a decision and passed the order to disqualify these ministers from Rajya Sabha. This is a very important topic, and because from this news a background can be covered, like Anti-Defecation Act, which comes under Schedule 10, and the disqualification of MP. So we should look after these things because this is very important for the examination perspective. Let's move to the next news, which is UAE and Saudi Arabia has created a new group, and they have separated themselves from the GCC, Gulf Cooperation Council. So what is the name of the new group? The United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia have formed a new group, which is actually Economic and Partnership Group, named as Joint Cooperation Committee, that is JCC, and they have separated themselves from Gulf Cooperation Council, GCC. So what is the Gulf Cooperation Council? The Gulf Cooperation Council is a regional political organization comprising the energy rich Gulf monarchies. It is a cooperation or council of the regional political organizations, and it comprises of 6 countries in Arabian Peninsula like Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and UAE and Bahrain. The GCC was established in 1981 and its headquarters is in Riyadh. So this is very important from the examination perspective. We should revise very carefully about the Gulf Cooperation Council. So what is the role of the Gulf Cooperation Council? The Gulf Cooperation Council or GCC promotes economic, security, cultural and social cooperation between the 6 states, and they also holds some annual summits so that to discuss the cooperation and regional affairs. And as I've told, the headquarters is in Riyadh, that is the capital city of Saudi Arabia. But now the two countries have left the group and formed a new group, which is Joint Cooperation Committee, and the two countries are UAE and Saudi Arabia. So this will be a very interesting to see how the regional politics is going to change in the Arabian Peninsula. So this is the Arabian Peninsula, and location, we can see the location. Here is Kuwait, here is Bahrain, this is UAE, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Oman, and so these are the Gulf Cooperation Council countries. So let's move to next news, which is about Sentinel satellite. What is Sentinel satellite? It is a satellite which is dedicated to monitor air pollution. So we should remember this thing, that Sentinel satellite is used to, or it is a satellite which is dedicated to monitor air pollution. The other important aspect of Sentinel satellite is that it is commissioned by ESA, that is European Space Agency, and it was launched in a 24-kilometer high orbit by a Russian rocket. So next news is related to wind hybrid project. The Andhra Pradesh is planning to develop a first solar wind hybrid project with the battery backup facility. So it will be very interesting to see how a battery backup operates in the wind energy. The project is coming up in Anantapur district of Andhra Pradesh, and this is the first such project to be developed in our country. The funding is done by the World Bank, and it will develop a 160 megawatt solar wind hybrid project with a battery backup. That's why, so we should keep in our mind that this is a solar plus wind hybrid project. The distribution of power will be like 120 megawatt will be from solar and 40 megawatt will be from turbines, that is wind energy. So this project is coming up in Anandpur, and the specialty of this project will be that there will be a backup in the form of battery. So let's move to the next news, that is related to Flink. Flink actually stands for Functional Living Ink. It is a new printing material developed by the scientist from Switzerland. Flink is a new printing material. What is specialty about it? The specialty is that it contains different bacteria as ink. The ink here is bacteria, which makes it possible to print objects with biochemical properties. So it also contains different species of bacteria at different concentration in order to produce objects which are exhibiting the several properties. So let's move to the next news, which is about Arogya 2017. So what is Arogya 2017? It is the first ever international conference on Ayush and wellness. It is the first ever international conference on Ayush and wellness. The conference is being held in Delhi, and it is a comprehensive exhibition and conference on Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, naturopathy, Siddha, Sovarikpa, and homeopathy. So Ayush stands for Ayush stands for Ayurveda, Unani, homeopathy, Suvarikpa, and naturopathy. So the Arogya 2017, which is held for the very first time in our country, is jointly organized by Ministry of Ayush and Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Ministry of Commerce and Industry plus Ministry of Ayush. So what is the aim of this Arogya 2017? It actually the aim is to showcase the strength and scientific value of the traditional system of medicine in our country. So the Arogya 2017 is basically focusing on strengthening and scientific valuation of traditional system of Indian medicine. So this more than more than 250 manufacturers of alternative medicines are actually showcasing their products and services at the International Arogya 2017. So thank you for listening, friends. This was all about today's news, that is 6th December 2017. Thanks again.